At first glance, this was looking like one of my nicer vintage slipcast molds. But upon further inspection, this is actually the grossest one that I've ever seen. So I think we're gonna have to actually clean this one before we can use it. Rodents really love slipcast molds because they really like to chew on plaster, but this doesn't look like it was chewed on to me. I'm thinking the rodent used it as a bathroom, which is really disappointing because other than that, this is a really crispy one. It's like not even discolored on the outside. But I would like to stop thinking about it now, so let's just talk about how I cleaned it. I started by attempting to blow off any of the debris, and honestly, this worked better than I was expecting, and it gave me really high hopes, but it did not work on this more saturated part. Now, normally, I would say that you should never take a sponge to the inside of a slipcast mold, but this was a very extreme case. Over time, the crisp edges of a mold will round over, and wiping it with a sponge is essentially just speeding up that process. The soiled parts on this mold were on the smooth parts anyway, so I decided in this case it was worth it to break that rule. After it was all cleaned up and I had washed my hands, I went ahead and cast the mold. If you couldn't tell by looking at it, this is for a spoon rest, and it is shaped like a strawberry. I did actually purchase this mold from somebody on the internet knowing that it was in this condition. I thought it was worth it because the mold was just so cute, but then I did not want to clean it. It's actually been sitting on the shelf for like maybe 6 months, and finally I was like, okay, clean the mold. It's really not that big of a deal, just clean the mold. And I am glad that I did. Now, when it came time to unmold this, I also broke all of the rules. The rule being if you have to pry, let it dry. I think if I let this dry longer, it wouldn't have stuck and it probably would have been fine. But I did not do that. It was stuck right where that stain was. I'm pretty sure next time it's gonna just cast completely fine, but I'll add some mold release just in case.